staying focused on what I'm gonna be. I'm making that down, but I won't lose ground. 'Cause I'm still stuck in my destiny. I'm still stuck in my destiny.
Every time it's on everything, the life you choosing, I'm cheddering. No matter the form of the weaponry, gotta keep stalking my destiny. Time's getting worse, I'm bettering. My sin is secure, ain't no tethering. I ain't gon' stop till I rest in peace and they put a hold on my great lettering. Every time, I ain't lay back unless I'm in my 300. Circle is little, cause I keep it 100. Minus my issues, I'm so hard when I'm on it. 100% ain't enough, I get 200. Every time, know what I'ma run from. I'm that one opponent, you don't want none from. Manual vein where my strength get pumped from. So let's goodbye to the child of God. Standing toe to toe, no hiding now. The Lord is with me, you can't fight the rock. I got the sauce, you want to hide. It's whatever. The destiny mine, I'ma stalk it out. The strength is having, you just bought it out. Your giant carcass, I'ma walk it out. You gon' be wishing that you wouldn't have called me out. Cause every time be on that throw down, let's get us a showdown. Come and get some, I got another go around. Big as they is, so hard they go down. Since destiny something we can't change, but quitting will stop you from great gains. And faith will make capable great things. I done decided to break pain. Move around and call me on my A game. So speed like the A train. The path that I'm stalking on, I gotta maintain. All by myself, I don't gang bang. When you want to get in my crown, then I'm down every time, not just now and then. Yeah, I heard you got your thousands, but me, yo, I got my 10,000s. God gave me dreams doing that, I would chase them.
I'm steady chasing, I'm staying focused on what I'm gonna be. I'm making it up, but I won't lose ground. 'Cause I'm still stuck in my destiny. I'm still stuck in my destiny.
What up, BFAM 1096.com. What up, TikTok? What up, Facebook? What up, YouTube? How are y'all doing today? I am Tara M. Williams, your host, the voice of faith, hope, love, and leadership. Welcome to Tea Time with Tara Live and on Air. How are y'all doing? Shout out to my sponsor this month, Stalk Your Destiny, where we are connecting you to your destiny one step at a time. And we believe that everything you want to become, you already are. So welcome, y'all, here at Tea Time with Tara Live and on Air. We believe you have a voice and it needs to be heard. Please head over to our YouTube page and hit the subscribe button. Check out the Tea Time with Tara show, season 1 and season 2, and catch us live every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Live and on Air. If you want to connect with me, you can connect with me on Instagram at Stalk Your Destiny Official. You can connect with me at Facebook at Tara M. Williams. I'm now on TikTok. Hey, y'all, TikTok fam. I'm now on TikTok at Stalk Your Destiny as well. Again, welcome to Tea Time with Tara Live and on Air. I am your host, Tara M. Williams, the voice of faith, hope, love, and leadership. All right, y'all, we got a great show ahead today. So thank you for tuning in. Sorry I missed y'all last week. TikTok, this is my first time with the show for you guys. So welcome. All of you listening online. Hi, Sheila. I saw you. I saw you tune in. Thanks for coming back. All right, y'all, let's get right into it. Get into our food for thought quote for the week, which says, sometimes we can get so caught up in the now that we miss the message that God is showing us. Okay. Food for thought quote says, sometimes we get so caught up in the now that we miss the message that God is showing us. And so with that, what I get from that is that we can't see the forest through the trees. We can't see the forest through the trees. So this is what is there to think about. Like, are you so caught up in what's going on around you that you're not able to see what's really happening? Sometimes we don't even see what's really happening until we come back to it, right? You have to kind of get through a thing to a certain point and then turn around and look and say, wow, or take inventory of what just happened. What just happened? And I told y'all that I was going to share some bits and pieces from my story, from my life and my journey. And in the last year, my life has taken tremendous leaps and bounds, right? I thought like, okay, I'm taking this leap of faith. I'm following God and doing what he told me to do. And it all fell flat. It didn't go any of the way that I thought for myself. However, God's plans are not our plans. And when it says lean not to your own understanding, oh, y'all, this is business and Bible basics. I don't believe I said that, but this is business and Bible basics, tea time with Tara. Okay. So God's plan is not my plan. And I got so caught up in what was happening at the time of all these different movements from my leap of faith that I was not able to grasp that God had chosen me. I wasn't able to grasp that God was literally using me, sending me to different people. I don't know if you've ever been used by God, y'all, but like when you're literally used, it don't have nothing to do with you except that he chose you. So I was chosen by God for the journey that God sent me on. And in it, I'm kicking and screaming and wondering, like, what is happening? Because nothing I thought was going to happen took place. So I had to get my mind right. I had to see that sometimes we can get so caught up in the now that we miss the message that God is showing us, even in my tears, even in, the sorrow. Sometimes you go through things, it's real tough and it's painful. And you're like, what the fuck? Why am I here? Okay. Why am I here? Why is this happening? This hurts. This is hard. I don't understand it because I'm doing everything right, at least to my understanding. And sometimes we just have to pull back a little bit, reset, go rest, go relax, And I know that's hard to say, relax when everything's going wrong. But sometimes you have to relax. Sometimes you have to try to sit back. You have to try to just take inventory, and you got to trust the process in that. You got to trust the process. So don't allow, all the trees around you. They say you can't see the forest through the trees, right? So don't allow all the trees around you that you see hinder you from understanding that there's a beginning and an end to what's taking place. That if you don't know which way to go, go straight. Go forward. If you don't know which way to go, go forward. Y'all getting a lot of nuggets in just the food for thought, okay? But if you don't know what way to go, go forward. Because eventually you're going to go through it, right? If you can't see the forest through the trees, you've got to get to a point where you're out of the trees, where you're out of the situation. And rest assured that seasons must change, y'all. Seasons have to change, okay? And so rest assured that seasons have to change, and they will change. They will absolutely change, okay? And so with that, you've got to understand that sometimes we go through a winter in life. Sometimes we go through a summer in life, and that's the bad and the good, right? Those things will change. Those times will change. The tables will turn. And so we've got to just understand that there's a message in it all. And I'm going to get more into it. When we get to the business topic of the week, y'all. But that food for thought quote came from my book, Permeate: Rants and Lessons on Life and Love. Okay, so we'll be getting our food for thought quotes from this book for at least the next 8 weeks. Okay, y'all, we'll be getting the food for thought quote from my book Permeate for at least the next 8 weeks. And so again, that quote says, sometimes we can get so caught up in the now that we miss the message that God is showing us. All right. So let's move right along. The devotional that we're going for, learning from, that I'm speaking from, okay? The devotional we're using for the next 4 weeks from my Earthly Branches, a 12-book devotional series. This one is about completion. Okay? And both books can be found on my website, www.stalkyourdestiny.com/shop. That's where you can get both books from, or any of my other books, okay? Both of these or any of my other books, you can get them from stalkyourdestiny.com/shop, okay? So from completion, which is the Earthly Branches 12-book devotional series study that we're in now for the next 4 weeks or so, okay? From here, we're going to be reading from Jeremiah 29. I'm going to start off with 1 through 13. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm going to read 1 through 13. Y'all know I don't usually read the whole scripture. You can go back and read it yourself. But I'm going to read Jeremiah 29, 1 through 14. And y'all, I'm new to the TikTok thing as well. So I'm live. I'm also on TikTok. I will figure this out, okay? It says I have messages, and we're going to see how to get to them so I can talk to you all as well, okay? So for now, I'm going to continue forward, and I'm going to try to get to those messages too while you all are here. Okay, Jeremiah 29, verse 1 through 13 says, "This is the text of the letter that the prophet Jeremiah sent from Jerusalem to the surviving elders among the exiles and the priests, the prophets, and all the other people Nebuchadnezzar had carried into exile from Jerusalem to Babylon." This was after King, I don't even know his name, so I'm going to say it, the king and the queen mother, the court officials and the leaders of Judah and Jerusalem, the skilled workers and the artisans had gone into exile from Jerusalem. He entrusted the letter to Elisha, son of Shaphan. I thought I practiced this. Okay, so excuse me because it looked like I'm stumbling over these words, and I am. Okay, and to Gemariah, son of Hilkiah, whom Zedekiah, king of Judah, sent to King Nebuchadnezzar in Babylon. It said, I should have skipped over all of it. Okay, it said, "This is what the Lord Almighty, the God of Israel, says to those who I carried into exile from Jerusalem to Babylon: build houses and settle down, plant gardens and eat what they produce. Marry and have sons and daughters. Find wives for your sons and give your daughters in marriage, so that they too may have sons and daughters. Increase in number, do not decrease. Also, seek the peace and prosperity of the city which I have carried you into exile." Okay? "Pray to the Lord for it, because if it prospers, you too will prosper. Yes, this is what the Lord Almighty, the God of Israel, says: do not let the prophets and diviners among you deceive you. Do not listen to the dreams you encourage them to have. They are prophesying lies to you in my name. I have not sent them, declares the Lord. This is what the Lord says: when 70 years are completed for Babylon, I will come to you and fulfill my good promise to bring you back to this place. For I know," here we go, y'all. This is what everybody knows, right? "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope in the future. Then you will call on me and come and pray to me, and I will listen to you." Okay? "You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart." So that was Jeremiah 29, verse 1 through 3. And y'all, this is not a Bible study. This is Tea Time with Tara, business and Bible basics. Okay? With that, let's see. In my notes, I wrote "for a season and a reason." Okay? And so in the scripture, Jeremiah 29, okay, I don't want to focus too much on just verse 11, but let's just say that things happen, like we talked about at the beginning, the getting caught up in the now that you miss the messages, right? So things are happening for a reason and a season. And we know that God is a God of order anyway. And so if we say, okay, well, God says, "for I know the plans I have for you," that means that there is an appointed time waiting on you to reach it, waiting on you to get to it. Right? Just like I just said, seasons have to change. But like when you're planting and harvesting, you've got to wait it out and you've got to work. Okay? You've got to do the work and you got to wait it out to see what your work has produced. Okay? And I say that, like I told you all before on the show, I've been in business for 10 years. Now I have a platform to stand on. Now I have all of these works that I've done to stand on because God knew what my tomorrow would require of me. So also, don't get discouraged in your time where, we don't really need God to tell us, "I know the plans I have for you. I have plans to prosper." We don't need to know that when we think everything is all good. When we think everything is all good, we don't even try to figure out, like, okay, God, what are your plans that you have for me? And so we've got to be mindful that those seasons will change. Those seasons will change. Okay. Anybody that's on TikTok, not on TikTok, I'm sorry. Anybody on Facebook that's listening in, if you know how to check messages on TikTok, please let me know, because I'm getting messages and I don't know how to check them. And I want to be able to check in with those people. But life is not happening to you. Life is happening for you. Okay. And we know that everything has, that's Ecclesiastes 3. It says, to everything there's a season, right? A season under heaven. Everything has its time, and in its own time, everything will do what it set out to do. Right. So again, this goes back to trusting the process. And I wish I named the business topic of the day, trusting the process, but I didn't. So we'll get to that in a minute. But you've got to trust the process. You got to trust God, right? Because if we're like, okay, for I know the plans I have for you, but you don't really trust God, then does it matter that God has plans for you? Does it matter that your right now is not what's going to continue forever? It may seem like forever. It may feel like forever, but it is not going to continue on forever. Okay. So we've got to be mindful of that when you're going through things. And when you're having high seasons, like I said, when you're having things that are amazing things, you've got to understand that the good times don't last always. You're only as good as your last best, right? Your last bestseller, your last amazing event that you had, right? The last thing you celebrated. You're only as good as those things. So we've got to be mindful of that. And then we have to go where God is leading. I'm moving a little forward, a little ahead of myself on here because I'm trying to read notes, keep up. So y'all bear with me today. I'm trying something new. Okay. I am trying something new and I'm trying to work through it actively. But you have to go where God is leading you. And I love Psalm 23. I didn't put it on here because I didn't think about it until just now. But I love Psalm 23 that says, the Lord is my shepherd. I lack nothing. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me, right? And so I always tell people, be mindful. Don't go before God. Don't go before God. TikTok, I'm really trying to figure this out, y'all. Okay, with these messages, I have no idea how to get to messages. This is my second time live on TikTok. Please bear with me, y'all. Please bear with me. I'm trying to figure it out. So don't go ahead of God. Okay, like if we know that the Lord is our shepherd and we lack nothing, then why are we worried about the plans that He has for us for tomorrow? Why are we worried about when? I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why we're worried about when and all of that. We're worried about when because we're human. We're worried about when it's going to happen and what's going to happen because some things are hard to bear. We are worried about it because we don't know what's next, and we need to know what's next, right? We need to know what's going on. We need to know what to prepare for, because God always lets us know, like, you need to prepare for this. I'm going to do this for you, but you need to prepare. You're like, what? Prepare what? And when? When is it going to happen? Have you ever had a vision from God and you're just like, Lord, when is it going to happen? So we've got to be mindful to go where God is leading you. And sometimes too, y'all, we have to be mindful that people around you don't know what God said to you. People around you they may not be on board with where you're supposed to go and what you're supposed to be doing. And so when we say go where God is leading you, that comes into your obedience, because God can give you all kind of visions and you might think, oh, this is crazy, or you tell somebody about it and they talk you out of doing what you need to do. They talk you out of what's necessary for you. Okay. So you've got to be mindful that you stick to it, that if you receive what God is saying to you, that you've got to go forward in that thing. You've really got to try to figure it out. Okay. You've really got to try to figure it out and go forward in it. Like, Lord, we're not going to always know why. We're not going to always know why God tells us to do something. We're not always going to understand the visions that God gives us. Okay. And And so we've just got to be mindful just to say, okay, Lord, I surrender. Like, is this what you want to do? I'm with you. I am with you on it. You know, sometimes God just needs our yes. And the Bible also tells us in that to let your yes be yes and let your no be no, you know. And even if you go kicking, screaming, crying, terrified, go anyway. Go anyway, trusting God. Go anyway, um, without answers. When I left town, my hometown last year, everybody was like, what are you going to do for work? Where are you going to live? None of this was in place. Like, y'all, when I say it was a leap of faith, it was a leap of faith. It was trusting God fully. I did not have any answers. My response was, I don't know. Well, how are you going to do this? I don't know. I don't know, right? And it was tough. Like I said, it was hard, okay? And so with that, when I got there, it didn't get easier. It didn't get easier. It was more obedience. Like going where God is leading me. I went from a very beautiful part of town to a very rough part of town. The rough part of town looks like my hometown. It reminded me of my hometown. And so with that, I had to wrap my mind around, why the hell am I here? What is this? Because this is not what you promised me. What happens when the reality doesn't look like what God promised? What happens? Will you still trust God? When reality looks nothing like what you expected of God, what you thought, you know, like we can pray all day and we can declare all day. And I know some people say they even manifest certain things, but I ain't manifesting nothing except what God told me. I'm not manifesting anything except what God told me. And I'm like, Lord, you said it. You bring it to pass, okay? Because it's not going to be by my might. It's not going to be by anything that I do. It's going to be by your spirit. Bless me indeed. You know, that's the prayer you could pray, the prayer of Jabez. Bless me indeed, Lord. Enlarge my territory, right? But be mindful of what you pray for, because enlarge my territory says, God, I'm ready for more work. I'm ready for more work. To those of you on TikTok who are sending messages, I apologize. I do not know how to check them yet when I'm live. This is my second time live on TikTok. Welcome to the Tea Time with TARAH Live and on Air with BFAM1096.com. Welcome. I will figure that out for you all and be able to respond to all of you on Facebook and YouTube and listening live on the radio. Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned. I just wanted to say that real quick for those on TikTok who are joining in. Okay. So go where God leads you, y'all. Okay. Even this is new. I'm literally doing something new in front of you all and live before you all on air. And I don't know how to navigate it, because guess what? When you ask God to enlarge your territory, it's God told Abraham, go to a place where I will show you. He didn't say, here you go, bro. Here's your map. Here's all the distractions that are going to come along the way. Here are all the potholes you're going to hit. Here are all the detours. God didn't do that. Abraham didn't have to go with a map. Abraham didn't have to go with the map. Abraham had to pick up and go to a place that God would eventually show him. So when you try new things, like I'm trying something new, you're not always going to know how to navigate it right away. You're not going to be an expert. Excuse me. Let me be clear. You will not be an expert at something you've tried for the first time. If you're trying something new for the first time, you won't be an expert. And guess what? No one requires you to do that. No, God does not require you to be an expert the first time you open your mouth to say, praise God, bless God. Let me tell you about my God. God doesn't expect you to know that or do that. And nobody does in this world. Okay, so if you carry that weight that you've got to be perfect, you've got to be an expert at some shit you just started, please understand, you do not. Give yourself a break. You're good. You don't have to worry about that, y'all. But go where God leads you. And remember that you're only in these spaces and these places for a season and a reason. And that's because God chose you. All right. That is because God chose you. All right, y'all. This is the part of the show where if you were a sponsor, I would be plugging in your business, your company, your product, or your service, or your shout out to whoever you'd want to shout out in the show. But since Stalk Your Destiny is our sponsor for now, I'm going to let you guys know that with Stalk Your Destiny, we have classes called the ABC to Stalk Your Destiny. Classes are every Thursday at 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. The classes are from 1 to 8. So there are 8 classes, but they're held at different days. Classes 1 and 2 are held on the first Thursday of the week. All of them are on Thursdays. Classes 2 and 3 the next week. 3 and 4. I'm sorry. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8. So there are 2 classes, 2 opportunities for you to take classes twice a week on Thursdays, either 11 a.m. or 1 p.m. And you can register for those classes at www.stan.store/stalk your destiny. Again, these are the ABCs to Stalk Your Destiny classes where I go over everything you need from A to Z of stalking your destiny. You can take one class or you can register for all 8 to complete the entire course. This can be done at your own pace as classes are offered monthly, but only one of the 8 are offered each month. So you would have to click the link at www.stan.store/stalk your destiny and register for ABCs to Stalk Your Destiny classes, especially if you're someone who needs clarity. You're someone who's looking for a way forward. You feel like, I don't know what my purpose is and I really want to figure that out, or I got too much going on my plate and I really need to just find balance, right? We go over everything in those classes from accountability to balance to taking a chance to success, trust, understanding, learning, knowledge, and management. Everything from A to Z that you need to stalk your destiny, we go over in all 8 of those classes. But again, you don't have to take all 8. You can take 1, 2, 4, 7, or all 8 to complete the entire course, and you can do it at your own pace. Okay, so head over to www.stan.store/stalk your destiny and register for the ABCs to Stalk Your Destiny classes held every Thursday at 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. Now, y'all, we can get into the business topic of the week. Okay. Our business topic of the week today is the journey continues. And isn't that amazing how God just pulls everything together? The journey continues. So in our food for thought quote, he was just saying, don't get caught up in what's happening now. In our devotional, we're talking about, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. And now in the business topic of the week, it's the journey continues. How many of y'all are on a journey in your life? Like whether in your career, business, if you're a stay-at-home mom or dad, and you're just trying something new. Okay, we're all trying stuff, right? We're all trying to figure this out. But you're on a journey. You've been on a journey, right? And so now the journey is continuing forward. And it's just amazing that, like I said, when I made my leap of faith, I thought that I knew what was ahead. I just knew prosperity awaited me in the new town. I just knew. And so we think we know, but we have no idea. Okay. We think we know, but we really have no idea about how things are going to happen. And the funny thing about it is that we still wonder. We still wonder. We try to understand while it's happening, and we still have no idea how God's going to use that. So when your journey continues and you are trying to do something new in your business, you have to be flexible. You got to be flexible in business to navigate the ups and downs, to navigate the twists and turns of what's to come. Because business, especially entrepreneurship, it's you're up one day, you're down another. And people building platforms on social media, you hit one day and the next day you don't, like you fall flat. that can be exhausting. But we still have to go forward, right? The journey still continues. And so, and I was saying something this morning. Did a content video or something this morning that I was working on. And the thing about it is that when the journey continues, this is the amazing thing about stalking your destiny, is that one thing we know about stalkers is they are relentless. Okay, in pursuit. They are relentless. It doesn't matter what happens. They do not give up, which is the relentless resilience, all of that. But they're willing to have the hard times. They're willing to have the bad times. They're willing to have the great times, right? And so in going after our destiny and our purpose, which this is not all about stalk your destiny, but still, when your business, your journey, your life, all of that is a part of your purpose and your destiny, right? And so think about that. Think about a time where you really just knew you had it all together. You knew you had it all planned out, right? And it just didn't go forward. It just didn't go that way. And it may not have been a bad thing. It's just that it didn't work out in that fashion that you thought, right? So we got to be open to different vantage points and perspectives, because two things can be true. What you think can be true, as well as what's really happening can be true as well. For example, in my move and me taking that leap of faith, was it true that God was using me? Yes. Was it true that God told me to move? Yes. Did I go where God told me to go? Absolutely. Did I have an idea that it would prosper me? Yes. Did it prosper me? Not in the way I wanted to be blessed. Like, I wanted money. I wanted career opportunities. But guess what? And I've told y'all this before, and I will say it as many times as I need to. I would not be here talking to you live and on air, right, every week, if I did not make that move. And if this was the thing that was the expansion that God wanted for my life, well, guess what? I get to be in front of all of you. I literally get to deliver a word to all of you whom I wouldn't have been able to do had I not made the move. Okay? Had I not made the move, had I not gotten invited to a podcast, had I not been obedient, y'all, all of these pieces add up. We think we know, but we have no idea. What if God made me move just to get me here, right here in front of you today? What if? Are you really willing to be used by God, y'all? Like, for real? Because we talk about it. Like, we talk about it. Oh, Lord, use me. I'm God's chosen. You know, people want to, what's the word, boast about it. But are you really willing to get down and grimy with God for the one thing that's going to come from it, right? Because we can't minimize where God is taking us. We can't minimize what he wants to do in our lives and through our lives. Like, here we say you have a voice and it needs to be heard. I don't even know if I said that in the intro because I tried to do it off the top of my head today, but you have a voice and it needs to be heard. How can I be heard if I wasn't on the radio? And don't get me wrong, I was on the radio back home, but it had been a few years since I had been on radio, and I desired to get back at it. And now here I am, live and on air, over 200,000 listeners and growing, right? But that came with the obedience. You have no idea why God is telling you to go to a place that he will show you. You have no idea why God is telling you, go back and review your resume. Redo it. Make another one. Go back and repost that video. It's not all trending factors here. This is not all about trending. God, I would say God does not care about the trends we set. God is the trendsetter. Okay? And following God's lead will get us to where we need to go. Because who knows what doors this is going to open. If we keep at it, if I keep at it, if I keep showing up for you, if I keep writing devotionals, if I keep writing books, if I keep making things available that God wants me to make available to you all, listening, watching, you know, being here with me, then I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, right? I'm changing your life and I'm not even with you. All I'm doing is going live on the radio, okay, on the internet, every week. That's all I'm doing. So imagine that one thing that could change your life. What is the one thing that could literally change your life? Like, God started off with me with a list of ABCs from A to Z. I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this? 10 years ago when I started my business, gave me a list from A to Z. And now all I do is teach from that list. All I do is speak to you guys on the radio. All I do is teach classes on it. All I do is teach leadership on it. All I do is create activity books, workbooks, mini courses on a list of ABCs, y'all. Something so small. Something so small is what I'm able to stand on for this platform. You never know how God's going to use what he has for you. You never know how the smallest of things can change the trajectory of your entire business or life. Okay. And so be open to that. Be open to that. We all want blessings and we all want our business to grow. We all want all these different things, right? You got to be open to doing what God tells you because he uses everything. I saw an old sermon that said, I think it's titled Nothing is for Naught. And it's by T.D. Jakes. It's really old. I think it's like 2012-ish, 2013 maybe. I don't know. It's a really old one, really old sermon. And in there, he was just saying nothing is in vain. Nothing will be lost. God uses everything. God uses everything. So in Romans 8 and 28, it says multiple ways. It says that, and we know in all things, God works to the good of those who love the Lord and are called according to his purpose, right? But other people say as well, all things work together. And so if all things work together, that means, again, nothing is lost. That means that nothing is wasted. That means everything you went through, everything that hurt you, everything that blessed you, all the people that came and went, all the jobs that came and went, all of the relationships that came and went, all the disappointment, all the good days, nothing will be wasted. Nothing will be wasted. And that doesn't mean that your life is going to look perfect. But if you look for your idea of perfection rather than taking hold of your own blessings, then you will never see what God is doing for you. That's right there. You're getting so caught up in now, so caught up in what you don't have, so caught up in what's not there or not available to you, or woe is me, right? You're so caught up in that you don't see how blessed you really are. And I can speak about it because I can complain about a lot of things, but for what? And to what avail? It won't help me. It won't help me to complain about any of the things in my life that I don't find perfect. It won't help me to complain about anything that I feel I lack. Why? Because the Lord is my shepherd. I lack nothing. I lack nothing. You could come to me and have more money than me right now, more things and all of that. I guarantee you won't have as much peace as I have. I guarantee you might not have the same story that I have about leaning in and trusting God, or about how because I did not have X, Y, and Z, that God showed up for me, that God used the people around me, right? So you got to be willing to see what God is doing in your life. You got to be willing to say, like, I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to open up my faith. And Lord, I trust you. And God, wherever you're taking me in this, I'm a rock with you. I'm going to go with you. I guess this message today is really like, trust the process, trust God. Do you really trust God? For real? Or are you just talking about it? Do it just look good? Does it just look cute? Because it's not cute at all. Trusting God is not pretty. Obeying God is not pretty. Okay. And we're not even talking about being perfect either, because we all fall short. Okay. Not talking about perfection at all. Okay. But if you want to go after your purpose, this is the business topic, right? The journey continues. Business. Okay. Work. You got to understand that you may be at a place in your work environment where God is using you, even if it's just for one person, y'all. I need y'all to grasp how important it is for you to be the change in one person's life. because that one person could go run and tell everybody about how you helped them, about how you changed their lives, and how, that one person can just boost you up. Okay. That one person could be the catalyst to take you to the next level, all because you were obedient to God, all because you were there. I say here multiple times, I say here, many members, one body. We're supposed to help someone else. We're supposed to support someone else, and allow somebody to support you. Because while we're praying, Lord, bless me, bless me, bless me, do you actually have the capacity to carry that weight? Do you have the capacity to carry what's next? And here's the thing. Usually what's next requires more of you and more from you. And so if you're saying like, okay, I'm gonna help this person at work, that person could be the change, because that person could be the one person to support you at the next level. Because can you carry that weight, right? When you have all these bricks, can you carry it on your own? Or would it be better to carry some and have someone else help you along the way carry the rest? Having the capacity to carry. Capacity was a word for the year with Stalk Your Destiny. It was cultivating an attainable plan of action, okay, to increase something. But the part I want to talk about with it was cultivating an attainable plan of action, okay? I don't remember the rest right now, so I didn't write that down for today. But do you have an attainable plan of action so that you can carry what's next? The things you're asking God for to bless you with, right? Your journey continues, and along the way of your journey, you're going to pick up things, right? You're going to pick up tools. You're going to pick up people. You're going to pick up weight. You got to pick up food, right? During your journey, you might go from being a single person to a married man or married woman, to a father or a mother, right? To a pastor, to a teacher, to whatever's next, right? For those of you in college, and you're the next level requires more. And you want that. We're going after it. We always want more. What happens when your video goes viral? I don't even know how to check messages right now. What happens when it goes viral? You gotta be willing to grow through your process so that when the time comes, you are able to carry that weight. Okay. Do I want to go viral? Sure, absolutely. I want to know what that's like. I don't have any idea what's that like. I want to go viral in the way I hope one day, which may not be viral officially to others. However, whatever it is, whatever level it is you're trying to reach next on your journey, can you actually carry it? Can you hold all that comes with it? We don't think about that. We don't take the time to think about that. I want. And what happens when God gives you a yes on everything you asked for? Everything you asked for, and God gives you a yes. Are you going to be a good steward over it? Are you going to be able to handle it, to carry it? Are you going to be able to do what's necessary? Like, can God trust you with these blessings? Because they're not going to just be for you. Okay. We can talk about being a good steward over your finances. And we all want more money. Everybody wants more money. Everybody. So if we say, okay, Lord, bless me, bless me, bless me, bless me. And God says, okay, here you go. And deposits it right into your account, right into your hands. Do you have the capacity and the stewardship to do with it what God requires? Because we think that that's for us. Like, okay, God, thank you. You blessed me real good this time. And we fuck it up. We messed it up. Okay. So what happened? What happened there is that you were not a good steward. What happened there was that you thought it was all about you. What happened there is you didn't even think about having the capacity to sit down and ask God for strategy. Lord, this is the amount of money that I desire. God, bless me indeed. Lord, when you bless me, before you bless me, show me where this money should go to further your kingdom. And it's not even about religion. This is, who do you want me to bless with this? And how can I go forward in what you've given me to do? Because if I'm an author and I need money to print books, well, guess what I'm doing with the books? I'm blessing people with the messages that God gave me to give out. So when I get those funds, I'm going to do what? Purchase books to sell to people, to get them to get the messages that I have. Right? So, can you be a good steward? The capacity to carry is about your mindset, it's about your habits, it's about all of these things, about your attitude. Like, you want God to bless you real good, but your attitude is trash. It's trash. And God has been blessing you real good, and you don't care. You don't honor God, you honor you. That's a problem. That is a problem. So we need the capacity to carry. We need to be humble enough to know that God has a plan for what he's blessing us with. Okay. And we've got to be flexible enough to know that wherever God is sending you on this journey, whatever's ahead next in life, because thank God we're in the spring now, right? Welcome to spring, y'all. Welcome to this beautifulness where flowers are blooming, trees are coming back to their green, grass, I don't know where y'all are in the world, but still, I don't care where you are, it still gets more beautiful. It gets more beautiful in the spring, right? You get to really relish in the beauty. But what happens when you sit in the beauty and all you see is distortion? When you refuse to open your eyes, what happens then? What happens when your journey continues? Because it's going to keep continuing. Seasons are going to continue to change. Opportunities are going to continue to come and go. What happens when you are not ready to take hold of those things? What happens when life keeps going around you and you don't have the capacity to carry any of it? You're going to break down. You're going to break down. And that's okay too. Sometimes you have to stop on your journey. Sometimes you have to stop, take a breather, reset. Okay? But if you're on a journey, if you're going forward, okay, you're doing any of this, be mindful that back to the beginning, right? Jeremiah 29:11, he said, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you, plans to give you a hope and a future." Can I be real with y'all? I lost my hope when I moved and I left my hometown and shit went left. It looked like it kept going left. I lost my hope. And then I had to return to my hometown. I had to return with less than what I had when I left. I took a huge leap of faith and had to return with less. I lost my hope. And I had to sit down. And I had to say, God, I'm going to need you to fill it back up because I don't know what to do with this. There was no hope for tomorrow. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't beautiful. It wasn't spring. It was destructive. It was painful. So no matter where you are on your journey, and no matter what it feels like, if you just keep moving forward, like the movie Creed and Rocky says on the movie, one step at a time, one punch at a time, one round at a time, right? With Stalk Your Destiny, we're connecting you to your destiny one step at a time. Okay. And so as you continue on your journey, be mindful that you want to be able to take hold of all of your blessings. You want to be able to take hold of every beautiful gift God has for you. You want to be chosen by God, but be mindful that you being chosen by God is not about you. It's not about you. It's about who he can bless through you. It's about what work can God produce through you for his people. Are you willing to be used by God really? Are you willing to give up the fact that self has a place, but it's not the only thing? It's not the only thing. Do you have the capacity to carry what's next? Do you understand that God uses everything? Are you ready for your journey to continue forward, for God to choose you? Okay? Think about that and join me back here next week. All right, y'all. That is the show for today. To be a sponsor for the show, if you like what you're hearing and you want to run an ad or purchase ad space where you can tell us about your event coming up, your products, your service, your company, or you want to do a shout out for sponsorship information, please go ahead and send me an email at teatimewithtara. That's T as in TEA, like hot tea. Teatime with Tara. Tara is TARAH @gmail.com. Send me an email for sponsorship information, and I'll send you our packages on how you can become a sponsor of the show. If you all would like to just make a donation to the show, you can donate to Cash App at Stalk Your Destiny. That's STALK Your Destiny. Stalk Your Destiny at Cash App. Stalk Your Destiny at Venmo. Or PayPal.me/stalkyourdestiny. Those are the ways you can make donations. Again, if you'd like to be a sponsor, we'd love to have you. We'd love to present your business, your product, your service, or just shout you out, whatever it is you want us to share. Go ahead and send me an email at teatimewithtara@gmail.com. And again, for donations, that's Stalk Your Destiny at Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal. We'll be back here every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. TikTok, I will try to figure out more about this. This is my second time live on here ever. So I'll try to figure out how to get to your messages while I'm live. Otherwise, everyone else, thank you so much for tuning in to Tea Time with Tara, live and on air. I am your host, Tara M. Williams. We believe you have a voice and it needs to be heard. We're here for business and Bible basics. Again, if you haven't already, please head over to my YouTube channel and hit the subscribe button. That's at Stalk Your Destiny. For TikTok, it's in my bio. You guys can click that link and subscribe. Check out episodes of the Tea Time with Tara show where I interview guests and ask them what they need on their journey to stalking their destiny. That's season 1 and season 2 of that show that you can check out. Go back and see what else has been said on Tea Time with Tara live and on air. Get these messages, y'all, and join me next Monday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on BFAM 1096.com. Until next time, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, BFAM. I'll see y'all later. Bye.
I'm staying focused on what I'm gonna be. I'm making that go, but I won't lose ground. 'Cause I'm still stuck in my destiny. I'm still stuck in my destiny.
Every time it's on everything, alive, you cheesing, I'm cheddaring. No matter the form of the weaponry, gotta keep stalking my destiny. Time's getting worse, I'm bettering. My sin is secure, ain't no tethering. I ain't gonna stop till I rest in peace and they put some hold on my great lettering. Every time, I ain't lay back unless I'm in my 300. Circle is little, cause I keep it 100. Minus my issues, I'm so hard when I'm on it. 100% ain't enough, I get 200. Every time, know what I'ma run from. I'm that one opponent, you don't want none from. Manual van where my strength get pumped from. So let's go ride to a child of God. Standing toe to toe, no hiding out. The Lord is with me, you can't fight the rock. I got the sauce, you want my to hide. The destiny mine, I'ma stalk it out. The strength is having, you just bought it out. Your giant carcass, I'ma walk it out. You gon' be wishing that you wouldn't have called me out. Cause every time be on that throw down, let's get us a showdown. Come and get some, I got another go around. Big as it is, so hard they go down. Since destiny something we can't change, but quitting will stop you from great gains. And faith will make capable great things. I done decided to break pain. Lives around and call me on my A game. So speed like the A train. The thing that I'm stalking on, I gotta maintain. All by myself, I don't gang bang. When you want to get in my crown, then I'm down every time, not just now and then. Yeah, I heard you got your thousands, but me, yo, I got my 10,000s. God gave me dreams doing that I would chase them.
I'm staying chasing, I'm staying focused.